Okay, so here's the first thing you do is open up the raw data file. So what I have is an example file here, the form that Tom Weezer sent to me. I'm going to open that. It's an XLS file. And you can ignore all this stuff. I don't know why it's in there. You might get some warnings. And then the second thing you want to do is open up the, where is it? The HDD and online status version 7. This has the macros in it. So what we're doing initially is moving the macros and the HDD sheets over into the raw data file. So to do that, you need to first make sure you're in developer or design mode, and that'll allow you to do this copy. So this is a move copy. Make sure you check create copy. We're going to move this to this example workbook, and I'll just move it to the end. Okay, you can just ignore these. I don't know why I get these. Okay, and now you have moved the macro over, and you still need to get the HDD file. So we're going to go back again to the HDD and online status version 7. I'm going to click that tab, move, create a copy, and put it over in the example workbook, and I'll put it right before the analysis macro tab. Okay, so now what you have, I'm looking at the workbook now of the raw data, and I've added to it the analysis macro screen and the HDD online and offline days. So these have been modified to have these additional 4 lines, 3.4 down to 3.1 in them with the HDD days, and the online offline column has been updated so that you are online for those 4 days as well. Now we'll run the macros on each of the RTUs. So you see here there's 4 RTUs in this. So we're going to go to Analysis Macros, and we're going to be using this top part of the screen here of the macro to do individually the 4 RTUs. So the first thing you do is enter in the RTU number. It's got to be exactly as it's written in the tab. Case sensitive, space sensitive. So put that in and hit create data. You get some complaints there. And you will create this new sheet called daily data. And it has basically it's just copied over all of these columns here. And it has calculated these columns H through R. So the thing that you're interested in are the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. This tells you the average therms per heating degree day online and offline, and based on those numbers, the percent savings. And it counts up the number of days that the unit is drawing therms while it's online. That's 67 days. And drawing therms when it's offline is 42 days. So this is daily data now, and this is the summary of the daily data. So in order to save this file, you need to go down here because daily data is overwritten every time you run the macro. You need to rename this to something, and I call it, by convention, I just call it RTU1, which is just the name of the RTU as it's written right here, and I write summary. So that's the RTU1 summary. I'm going to go back and we're going to repeat this process for RTU2. Hit the macro and we get RTU2, and that daily summary I'm going to rename to RTU2 summary. Go back here and we have RTU3 now to run. Hit the macro again. That's our RTU3, and I'll rename it. And then the last one is RTU7. So I'll go back in here and change that to RTU7 and hit create daily data. Okay, so now I've created all of the RTUs. I'll make that RTU7. Now we're going to go back. We want to get the roll-up of all of these. So these tabs will remain here in the worksheet. We're going to go back to the analysis, and we're going to be looking at this bottom part of the analysis sheet. What you need to do is write in the 4 summary sheets that you just created. So the first one here is called RTU1. Now I want them to appear in this order. That's why I'm writing them this way. RTU 1, 2, 3, and then 7. So this is RTU 2. Oops, got the wrong one there. Got RTU 1 and RTU, nope, didn't do a copy paste. RTU 2 summary. Now keep in mind that you have to write these exactly as they're written in the tab. If you make an error, put in a space, don't capitalize something, you're going to get an error with this code. It doesn't have any error protection against doing that. So for example, if I typed in HHH here and tried to create the summary, you'll get something like this, subscript out of range. So I'll just end it at this point. Go back in here and correct this. So this is RTU 7 summary. Oops, summary. Now I hit create summary, and you end up with this report. So this has the RTUs listed down the left side, and it just repeats the last 5 columns that I showed you on each of the individual summary sheets with the savings here. So normally what I do in the report is I just highlight this bottom, I bold in the top, and I window in this rectangle of data with the grid lines so you can actually see them. And then I just take this and I copy it out of here, as you see it, just like that, and I put it into the PowerPoint. So that's how you do a single building. So you'd repeat this for each of the buildings. This is the online day counts that are drawing therms, and the same with the offline day counts that are drawing therms when the unit's offline. So you can see we have 235 days total here between the four RTUs online and drawing therms versus 153 for offline and drawing therms. And the total percentage is calculated here. The way this happens is I take this number times this number, and that gives me the, instead of the average, it gives me the therms per heating degree day online. And then what I do after I multiply that times that is I add these all up to get this single number here divided by the total number of days, and that's what gives me the savings. So I'm adding, obviously not adding average therms, I'm adding individually the therms per heating degree day, online and offline. Okay, so that takes care of how you run the macro. The second thing to understand here is the roll-up spreadsheet. So that's called, oh, before I stop, one thing you want to make sure you do here, I'll go back to this file. Now we've brought the macros into this file, and we've done the calculation. We want to save all this, and we may want to repeat it sometime in the future. You need to make sure that you save this file as an XLSM file. So here it has defaulted to it. Sometimes it will not. It may remain an XLS file. You need to select the XLSM when you do a save, and we'll save it. What is it saved as? Example. Okay, so we're good now. We've saved it. We're in good shape. The last file that you need to know how to use is the where is it? The overall summary file. So this is the overall summary file. After you finish running all the 6 buildings right here, you're going to enter in. You need to by hand enter in the percent savings. You need to enter in these values as well. These are all typed in by hand. There's no formulas that connect them together. So make sure you type these in correctly. This, I think, was the one that we just did. It has a different number of days in it for some reason. I don't know why. But once you've done this, over here, what will happen is this will automatically do the summation and the summation for the online and offline days. And it's calculating here the this would be the average online and offline therms per heating degree day. And then based on these two numbers, this number is calculated as a result of that calculation, right from this cell L. So just to repeat, You get this form, you're going to update this entire matrix by hand with all of these entries have to be typed in, and it will automatically calculate the savings for you here, and you can see how it's done over here on the right. I normally don't include any of this. I just cut out this piece right here and paste that into the PowerPoint. Okay, that's all there is to it.